Well, thank you all for being here. On election night, I made a promise to the people of Texas that I would begin work immediately to keep Texas the beacon of opportunity and the best state in the United States of America. I also promised that I would fight for all Texans and that I would unite our great state with key appointments that reflect both the geography and the diversity of our great state. Texans from every corner of the state need to feel that they are a part of the state's leadership, that they are co-authors of our future. The very first legislative caucus gathering that I attended as governor-elect was the Texas Legislative Black Caucus that I met with on Sunday evening. Now, I was told it was the first time that a governor had shown up for the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. The very first trip that I've taken as the governor-elect was earlier today to the Rio Grande Valley. I went there in part to honor veterans in celebration of Veterans Day, but also to meet with the Brownsville Economic Development Council to talk about ways in which we can better develop the economy as well as jobs in the Rio Grande Valley. Now, I'm making my first nomination announcement. One of the most significant appointments a governor can make is the appointment to Secretary of State. The Secretary of State is the state's chief elections officer, the liaison to the governor on border and Mexico affairs, and our chief protocol officer for state and international affairs. For that position, I wanted someone with proven leadership experience, someone who understands how government works, and someone who can cultivate strong bonds along the border as well as strong bonds across the border. Someone who can advance Texas's interest both at home and abroad. I found that person in Cameron County Judge Carlos Cascos. Now, he was just reelected to his third term to the county judge position in Cameron County. As county judge, Carlos Cascos has been the chief administrative officer for one of the fastest growing and most dynamic counties on the border, if not in all of Texas. Prior to becoming Cameron County's top elected official, Carlos served as a director on the Department of Public Safety Commission, a Cameron County commissioner for 12 years, and was actively involved in many civic organizations, including the Brownsville Economic Development Council. He also has served as chairman of the Border Security Council. Carlos is a certified public accountant, a certified government financial manager, and a diplomat of the American Board of Forensic Accounting. He understands elections. He understands how to administer government. He understands law enforcement. He understands economic development. He understands border issues. He understands how to get things done. He is a person that I've known for years and whose judgment I trust. In making this selection, I ask for the indulgence of the voters in Cameron County. Now, I know that they just reelected him. For the very same reasons that the voters in Cameron County believe that Judge Cascos should lead Cameron County, I believe for those same reasons that he should help lead the state of Texas. Judge Cascos will give the Rio Grande Valley a strong voice in Austin. He will also show the rest of Texas the outstanding leaders produced by the Rio Grande Valley. This appointment will be official when I am sworn in. I'm making this announcement before my inauguration for two reasons. First, I want to ensure that my key leaders are ready to go from day one of my administration. Second, I want to provide Cameron County with transition time to prepare for the process of selecting Judge Cascos' replacement. I want to thank Judge Carlos and his wife Candy for devoting your lives to making Texas better. Among other things, I know that you will inspire the next generation of Hispanic leaders as you work on behalf of all of the people of Texas. At this time, I want to present County Judge Carlos Cascos, my nominee to be Texas's next Secretary of State. Let me do you a favor.
I kind of like yours. Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Cascos, and I'm the Cameron County Judge. It has been my privilege to serve the residents of Cameron County for more than 2 decades as County Commissioner and County Judge. And I was humbled to be elected a 3rd term just a week ago today. While my heart and roots are in Cameron County, I owe it to my constituents and Texans across the Rio Grande Valley to accept this appointment subject to Senate confirmation, and ensure that the voices of South Texas and all of Texas are heard at the highest levels of state government. Governor-elect Abbott's decision to choose someone from South Texas as his first appointment continues to demonstrate his commitment to the Rio Grande Valley and our border region. The Secretary of State is Texas's Chief Elections Officer, the liaison for the Governor's Office on Border and Mexican Affairs, and Texas's Chief Protocol Officer for State International Matters. As a former county commissioner, county judge, CPA, and a Mexican-born American, I am confident that I have the experience and background and the commitment to perform these responsibilities on behalf of all Texans. Having been a member of the Department of Public Safety, past chair of Texas Border Security Council, vice chair of Panama Canal Stake Advisory Group and the Freight Advisory Group, and even participating in a task force to study logistics and evacuations during hurricanes, gives me the unique perspective into state government. Together with Governor-elect Abbott, I will work with Mexico in partnership with the federal government to ensure they abide by the Rio Grande Treaty. We must all do what we can to assess our water resources so our business can continue to flourish and our farms and agriculture industry can continue to prosper. We have many challenges ahead. However, I strongly believe that planning, initiating, and implementing a sustainable, viable water plan to address our growing population is imperative. In addition, Governor-elect Abbott has committed to work with Mexico as they expand energy, that they develop and ensure that South Texas companies can participate in the energy boom in northern Mexico. The Rio Grande Valley, amongst other parts of the state, are poised for incredible economic expansion. However, our unemployment rates continue to lag, especially in South Texas. Governor-elect Abbott has a plan to spark a new era of economic expansion in the Rio Grande Valley. His plan will help grow more small businesses and will continue economic opportunities, such as recently the relocation of SpaceX to the valley, the UT Rio Grande Valley School, and of course, the Toyota dealership, amongst others. Public safety and securing our border is critical to economic development. Data has shown that when our border is secure, our economic situation will improve. Securing our border will improve trade and economic activity, as well as the safety of our communities. Governor-elect Abbott's border plan provides for an additional $3 million in the next biennium to local law enforcement to prosecute human traffickers, smugglers, and drug cartels that threaten the safety of all our neighborhoods. In addition to expanding the Texas Anti-Gang Program to curb cartel activity across the state. As Secretary of State, I look forward to assisting Governor-elect Abbott in implementing his plan for improving on economic development, public safety, education, job creation, and infrastructure. I would like to thank Governor-elect Abbott for the confidence he has bestowed upon me to serve as Secretary of State. I would like to also thank Senator Eddie Lucio from my district that is supporting this nomination as well. He's been a senator for a long time and a good friend to myself and my family. I also want to acknowledge the loves of my life, my two daughters, Cassandra and Andrea. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my wife, Candy, because without her, I wouldn't be here today. Without her support, I would not be here today as well. As we go about our day, let's not forget the veterans. Today is Veterans Day, and had it not been for the sacrifices and the public service of veterans, none of us would be here today. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the great state of Texas, y que Dios los bendiga. Thank you.
We have time for a few questions. Mr. Abbott, you talked about immigration a little bit. What is your plan if the president does use his executive action on amnesty?
Well, there are limits to what the president can do, and we expect the president to abide by those limits. The authority to come up with an immigration plan and pass it into law is vested with the United States Congress. What the president needs to do is stop working in isolation, stop working antagonistically towards the members of the United States Congress, and instead join with them on crafting a plan that will fix the broken immigration system that we have in this country.
If he does that, would you encourage the state to move forward with lawsuits as it has in the past?
If the president, once again, violates the Constitution, if the president uses what seems to be his version of dictatorial powers to impose on Americans a law that is not passed by the United States Congress, I think any and all possible action should be taken to try to stop it, including potential legal action.
Governor Abbott, what do you think of the legislation that got pre-filed this week, and how do you plan to work with state representatives and senators coming up this session?
I've already begun to work with state representatives and state senators talking about some of the legislation that either has been filed or will be filed. That's one of the things that I accomplished at the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. We talked in great detail about some education plans and other plans that will improve the state of Texas. But as you know, there will be thousands of bills that will be filed, and we will look at them and watch them as they go through the legislative process. We're not ready to make any kinds of announcements about any future appointments at this time. We'll let you know when it happens. You know, I have no doubt the legislature will be filing bills about that. We'll take a look at it as they file it, if they do.
Jim, on that legislation, pre-filed or efforts to do away with the franchise tax, do you support that?
Either doing away with or modifying the franchise tax, the business franchise tax, is something that I've talked about before, that I have an interest in. I have an interest in finding ways to reduce the tax burden on businesses and individuals in this state. I think it's important that we put issues like that on the table. We need to be able to do the math on it based upon what the budget prognostications will be and see if we are going to be able to provide tax relief for Texans and especially the job creators in this state.
Would you say it's a bigger priority than property tax relief?
I think tax relief in general is a priority, and we need to evaluate both property tax relief and the business margins tax relief, looking at several variables. One is which type of relief is going to be most achievable. Two, I think we need to evaluate tax relief in the context of growing jobs. And these are all issues that will work their way through the legislative process.
Last question here.
Governor Perry has been out of town, out of state the last few days. Can you tell us how often you've spoken with him about the transition and what kind of dialogues you've had recently?
We spoke on election night and have about transition-based issues at that time, as well as some other issues. And at times before that, we would speak, I would say, often about the role of the governor and transition-based issues. On top of that, though, my staff is in probably daily contact with his staff on transition-based issues. All right, thank you all very much.